Thank you for joining us in Tech Submission Workshop. Before we start, allow me to share a few house rules. All attendees will be muted to reduce background noise. You can turn off your webcam since it will not be required during the training. If you have any questions, please enter them in the Q&A chat box and we will respond to them. This workshop will guide you through Malaysia tax and statutory requirements, as well as the process of generating the necessary files from the Just Login portal and submitting them to the relevant authorities. This training is divided into four parts. Part 1, Introduction to Malaysia's Statutory Contributions. In this training, we will briefly walk you through the Malaysia's statutory contributions, including the contribution rates, the eligibility, and the important considerations. Part 2, Preparing for tax submission. Before submitting, what forms are required for the yearly submission? What steps should you take to ensure the accuracy and compliance? And how do you generate this form in Just Login? In this session, we will go through the key preparations you need to make. Part 3, the submission process. Now, you have generated the required files. Where should you submit them and what are the deadlines? We will walk you through the process. And finally, we have a Q&A session. If you have any questions or need clarification, just drop them in the Q&A chat room and we will go through them at the end. Alright, let's start. Let's take a moment to understand the key components: EPF, SOSO, EIS, Zakat, and PCB. First, EPF, or the Employees Provident Fund. It is important to apply the correct contribution rate based on the employee's category. This includes whether they are under or over 60 years old and whether they are Malaysian or non-Malaysian. For Malaysian citizens, permanent residents (PR), and non-Malaysians who registered before 1st August 1998, for those under 60, the employer contributes 11% of their salary. The employer's contribution depends on the salary: 13% if the employee earns RM5,000 or less, and 12% if they earn more than RM5,000. Now, for those 60 and older, there are some changes to the contribution rate based on the employee status. For Malaysian citizens, they no longer contribute, but their employers still contribute 4% of their salary. For PR and non-Malaysian who registered before 1st August 1998, who are 60 or older, the employee contribution is 5.5% and the employer contribution is 6.5%. Okay? As for non-Malaysian who register from 1st August 1998 onwards, there is no salary limit for this group. If they are under 60, the employee contribute 11% of their salary. If they are 60 or older, the contribution rate is 5.5%. As for the employer of this group, the contribution is a fixed amount of RM5, regardless of the employee's age or salary. If there are any voluntary contributions, those should also be considered. EPF submissions are due by the 15th of the following month, so please be sure to complete them on time. For more detailed information and the complete contribution table, please visit the official EPF portal. Alright, let's discuss about SOCSO, or the Social Security Organization. Employee contributes to SOCSO are divided into two main categories, determined by the employee's age and eligibility. First category, Employment Injury Scheme and the Invalidity Scheme applies to employees below 60 years old. The contribution rates are 1.75% by the employer and 0.5% by the employee. All employees below 60 must contribute under this category, except if you have employee who reach 55 years old and they have no prior social contribution due to the non-eligibility under the Employee Social Security Act 1969. Second category, Employment Injury Scheme, applies to employee who age 60 and above with a contribution rate of 1.25% that is fully paid by the employer. For newly eligible employees who are 55 years old, they must be covered under this category. These contribution categories ensure employees receive the necessary protection under SOSO. When submitting SOSO, it is also necessary to include EIS, the Employment Insurance System. The EIS provides financial protection for workplace injuries, invalidity, and job loss. EIS applies to employees aged 18 to 60, except for those over 57 who were not previously contributing. Both employers and employees contribute 0.2% of the employee's salary. Since 1st October 2024, the contribution cap has increased to RM 6,000 monthly salary. This means earnings above RM 6,000 will not be subject to additional EIS contributions. SOCSO and EIS contributions are generally due by the 15th of the following month. However, it is always best to check with the processor for the most accurate and up-to-date information. Just a quick reminder, the contribution rates follow the official statutory contribution table. Please avoid directly multiplying the percentage by the monthly salary, as this may lead to inaccuracies. Always refer to the official website for the correct contribution table. Okay, let's discuss about zakat, an Islamic contribution. Eligible Muslim employees can choose to have zakat deducted from their salary. Zakat rates are different in each state, so always check with your state's zakat authority for the correct rate. One of the advantages of contributing to zakat is that it can be used as a rebate against PCB. This rebate reduces the income tax the employee is required to pay. For instance, if an employee's PCB is RM100 and employees have contributed RM50 in zakat, they can claim a rebate of up to RM50 against their PCB, effectively lowering it to RM50. It is important to note that the zakat rebate amount cannot be greater than the actual zakat paid. Zakat payments can reduce several types of income tax. These include individual income tax, business income tax for Muslim-owned businesses, and employer zakat contributions. For detailed and up-to-date information on zakat rates and regulations, please visit the official zakat website for your state. Now, let's go over PCB, or Potongan Cukai Bulanan, also known as the Monthly Tax Deduction System. PCB is a crucial part of the Malaysian tax system, and understanding it is important to accurate tax submissions. PCB is a system where employers deduct estimated income tax from employee salaries each month. These deducted funds are then sent to the LHDN, the Inland Revenue Board of Malaysia. This ensures consistent tax collection throughout the year. Now, who does this apply to? PCB deductions are mandatory for employees earning more than RM34,000 annually after their EPF contributions are deducted. So, the RM34,000 is the taxable income after EPF is taken out. Taxable income can be further reduced by claiming various tax relief. These include relief for your spouse, children, life insurance, and other eligible expenses. Being aware of this relief is crucial as they can significantly lower tax liability. Employers must submit the deducted tax to the LHDN by the 15th of the following month to avoid penalties. By understanding PCB and tax relief option, both employers and employees can ensure accurate tax submissions and compliance with Malaysia tax regulations. As part of our commitment to compliance, Just Login has been updated to align with the 2025 PCB amendments set by LHDN. This ensures that PCB are accurate and up to date. For further details, please visit the LHDN website. Here is a list of forms available in Just Login for tax-related submissions. Each form serves a specific purpose, has different submission deadlines, and is available in multiple formats. Let's go through them briefly. Form 39. This is the monthly PCB submission form. Employers must submit it to LHDN by the 15th of each month. Just log in, this form is available for download in TXT format. Form E. This is the employer's tax return form for declaration. Employers must submit it by 31st March 2025. It is available in TXT, PDF, and Excel formats. Form EA, which is also known as Form CPA. This form details an employee's annual compensation and require contributions. Employers must provide it to the employees by 28 February 2025. It is available in PDF and Excel formats, but no submission to LHTN is required. ECP22A and ECP22B. These forms are for new employee submission to LHTN. Employers must submit them within 30 days of the employee start date. The available formats are TXT and PDF. CP21. This form is used when an employee is leaving the country. It is available in TXT and PDF format for submission to LHTN. Regarding the file formats, TXT format is required for LHTN submissions. So when you want to do submissions, you can generate this file. PDF format is used for record keeping and distribution. For the Form EA, for example, you can generate PDF file and send to them. Excel format is available for internal use and easier data management. Alright, just a reminder that the Q&A chat is open and our team is ready to answer your questions. Please feel free to use it anytime. Before submitting text files, we need to ensure that all necessary documents and data are properly prepared. These include employee tax record, statutory forms, and the correct file formats for submission. Let's go through the key requirements to help you complete the process smoothly. Just Login provides a list of system pay elements that are LHTN compliant. Each pay element includes key details such as PCB, EPF, SOSO, EIS, and HRDF contribution status, the applicable tax code, whether it falls under normal or additional remuneration, and any exemption amounts. These ensure accuracy and compliance in payroll processing. As shown, the system provides 49 pre-configured statutory contribution entries, compliant with LHDN regulations. Each entry contains key tax information, including the criteria, tax code, wage type, and assessed amount tax code, accessible by clicking on the eye icon. I will explain in more detail shortly. Next, manual created pay element. If you manually created pay element without proper configuration, it may result in incorrect PCB calculation and misclassification in Form EA. Hence, it is important to check with LHDN to ensure compliance when you are creating any new pay element manually. Let me give you an example. On the left, you can see the pre-configured system pay element that adhere to LHDN compliance. Another side is a manually created pay element. Important things that you need to check here is the criteria, tax code, wage type, and annual PCB exam limit. For example, according to LHDN compliance, the travel allowance for official duties have a tax code of F tax exam allowance, a wage type of normal remuneration, an annual PCB exam limit of RM 6,000 annually, and an assessed amount tax code of B1C. That means if you choose this travel allowance to pay the employees, they are eligible for a tax exemption up to a total of RM 6,000 per year. This also means that the first RM 6,000 of travel allowance paid to an employee through this pay element will not be included in their taxable income. However, any amount exceeding this RM 6,000 annual limit will be subject to income tax calculations. Now, let's take a look at the manually created pay element. While this element has PCB selected and used the same tax code as the standard element, it is missing the exam limit amount. So what will be the impact? Let's do a comparison. Here, you can see these two employees, they have the same basic pay and also entitled to a similar amount of the travel allowance, but using the different pay elements. On the left side, it is using the system pay element, and on the right side is using the manually created pay element. As a result, the EPF, SOSO, and EIS deduction are similar as expected. However, the PCB amount is different. This discrepancy is due to the manually created pay element. Although PCB was correctly ticked in the setting, the missing 6,000 exemption in the manually created pay element caused the incorrect PCB calculation. Hence, it is crucial to always use the LHDN compliant pay elements to ensure the accuracy. Before running payroll, just Login provides several payroll reports to help you to verify data accuracy for tax reporting. Here are the four main reports you can use. In the system, please navigate to Payroll, Reports, and select the relevant report. Payroll Report 10. Payroll Yearly by Employee. This report summarizes the income information from January to December, allowing you to review the employee's annual earnings. Please take note that these are the returns and details of last year's taxes, which means everything is already done. However, if you haven't used system pay elements yet for this year deductions, no problem. You can use the opening balance sheet to input that information manually. Report 17. BIK report. This report provides details on the benefit in kind amounts. Since BIK does not appear in the monthly payslip, you can generate this report to verify the recorded data. Report 20. Tax Relief Report. This report contains tax relief amounts. Similar to BIK, tax relief details are not included in monthly payslip, so this report helps ensure accurate tax reporting. Report 21. Tax Code Report. You can use this to cross-check the different amount based on the tax code. Since the manually created pay elements must be set correctly for tax contributions, this report allows you to cross-check tax contributed pay elements as they appear in Form EA. It ensures that amounts are categorized correctly based on the tax code. Now that we have covered the necessary preparations, do you have any questions? Please type them in the chat room and we will address them. Alright, let's move on to the submission process. First, Form EA. Form EA is an employer issue statement of annual income and tax deductions, required for employees' personal tax filing, detailing salary, bonuses, and PCB deductions. Employers must provide Form EA to employees by the end of February to ensure timely tax filing. Form EA submission process. Step 1. Generate the Form EA in Just Login. Step 2. Employer sends Form EA to employee. And Step 3. Employee submit the Form EA via LHDN e-filing portal. The deadline for the employer to send Form EA to employee is on the 28th February 2025. Now, let me show you a demo on how to generate Form EA and send to the employee in the system. To generate the Form EA, log into your Super Admin or Payroll Admin account. Then go to the left panel, Payroll module, File Generation. Then go to Tax Forms, Yearly subtab. Here, choose Form EA, choose the year of assessment. If you would like to generate departments by departments, you can select the relevant one. Okay. Once you have selected, click Go. On this page, you will be able to see the process date, processed by whom, the year, total employee, and the status. Once the system has generated, you will be able to see whether it is a success status or fail. So for this result, you can see it is 100% generated successfully because total of 29, success 29. Now you can click on the 29 to view details. Here, you can see the employee name, the department, the actions, and the scene date and time. Okay. You can choose to send the EA form in bulk. Maybe you can choose more entries. Okay, so you'll be able to scroll for all employees. If you click on the white box here, on the first box, you will select all. Okay, and you can scroll down and click on the release button. So the system will directly send the EA form to their email address. And also they can view from the web, the just login web. They can also view it. Okay. You can also click on download files and send it separately. This is for bulk download and bulk send. You can also choose to do it individually. For example, the first one, you can see under the actions, there are three icons. The first icon is a flying kite icon. If you click on the first one, it will directly send to the employee email. And the date and time will be shown here. When do you release the EA form to the staff? If you click on the download PDF, the PDF will be downloaded. So it will be showing in your desktop. And the last one is the Excel file. So Excel file will be downloaded as well. Alright. So once this tab is done, you can close. For the employee, they can view from the EA form from the email. They can also view from the web. So if they go to payroll my payslip, they will be able to see this my EA form. So they can view the EA form here once you release the form to them. Alright, let's go back to the slides. Now, you have already sent the form EA to the employee. So what's the employee need to do? First, they need to log into the My Tax portal and then input the details from the form EA. Then they need to enter the applicable tax relief. For example, the self and dependent relief, lifestyle, education, medical insurance, etc. Eventually, they need to review and submit the information. Once submitted, obtain and keep the acknowledgement. And then they can check whether there is any refund or outstanding payment. That is the entire process for the Form EA. Now, let's move on to the Form E. Form E is an annual summary of employee income and tax deduction that employers must submit to HDN through the e-filing portal. The submission deadline is 31st March 2025. Form E submission process. First, you will need to download Form E from Just Login and then submit the Form E via My Tax portal. And lastly, obtain the acknowledgement receipt and download and save it as proof of submission. Now, let's go to the portal. I will show you a demo on how to generate the Form E. To generate Form E, please log into your Super Admin or the Payroll Admin account and then go to the left panel, Payroll, and go to File Generation. The system will direct you to this page. You will see bank file, statutory file, Zakat generation, and tax form. For yearly submission, we will go to tax forms. Alright, let's go to the second tab, yearly. Here, forms, we will choose Form E for Form E generation. And then you can choose the year of assessment. If you would like to generate department by department, you can select here. Once select completed, click on the Go button. After you click on Go, you will see here the process date, processed by whom, the year, the total employee, the status, and the success and fail column. So you will be able to see the success status and the fail status. This means that it is 100% successful since total of 29 and the success is 29. Can click on this green button to download the file for the submission. Once you click on it, a file will be downloaded. You can open it. You can see there are 4 types showing here. PDF, if you open the PDF, this is how it looks like. You can download and take a look at it. Then we also got TXT document and the Excel sheet. Okay, so for the TXT document, this one the text document, it is for the submission. So we recommend not to open it, and most importantly, don't make any changes on the TXT file, because when you do the submission, if you have added any information in the document, it might cause error. So to avoid the error, it's best not to amend anything. Okay, all right, let's go back to the slide. So this is the Form E submission process, and we have already completed the step one, which is we already go into the portal and we already download the Form E. Now you can log into HDM website at mytax.hasil.gov.my. And the step three, click on login, go to Syarikat or the organisasi. And step four, enter your authoriser's identification number and password. Step five, choose the e-filing and go to e-borang. Step 6, choose EE, choose the year of assessment, for example 2024. Step 7, fill in number cukai pendapatan. Step 8, fill in employer information. Step 9, cara penggemukaan, choose the CP8D. Step 10, sample, it has to be a TXT file, which is to upload the TXT file generated from just login. Step 11, update the bilangan pekerja. And that's it. That will be the entire Form E process. After submitting Form E, please remember to download and save the acknowledgement receipt as proof of submission. This is important. You need to retain both Form E and CP80 records for 7 years to ensure the compliance in case of an LHDN audit. If you have any questions as we go, please feel free to type them into the Q&A chat. What are the common questions? First, when is the deadline to submit Form E? The Form E submission deadline is on 31st March. Next, what if there was a mistake in last year payroll or excess PCB was paid? Employer cannot amend any past payroll records. Instead, the employees can request refund when filing their individual tax return with LHDN. Where should Form EA be submitted? Form EA does not need to be submitted. Employers provide it to the employees, and employees will use it to file their personal tax return with LHDN. Thank you for attending today's training. While we are waiting for more questions to come in, we just wanted to quickly share some of the most exciting new tools available at Just Login. We recently launched a bunch of AI powered tools like an AI chatbot helping you gain insight and analyze your HR data using some casual prompts such as who is late today, who has worked the most overtime hours this month, and how much commission was paid out in Q3. Next, we have Appraisal, a performance management system helping gather, track, and identify your best assets in the organization just in time for your year end review. And last but not least, we have relaunched Recruitment Now with additional AI power enhancements, helping parse resumes, score candidates, and compare the best and most relevant applicants so you narrow down hundreds of resumes to the top 10. If you are interested to see how these new tools can make working life better, request a guided trial with your dedicated customer success manager to understand how your companies can benefit. Now, to answer some of the question raised. We will now look into your questions in the chat box.